Bribes and rationing of AIDS medicine in Zimbabwe as Trump's aid cut bites. Mwenez, Zimbabwe. Memory Sibanda tried 3 times to get antiretroviral medication from a usual clinic in February but was turned away. The 67-year-old lived with HIV for the past 28 years, jobless and widowed since 2003 when her husband succumbed to AIDS. Sibanda is unable to afford to buy the medication should the government fail to supply it. She finally received a 3-month supply in late February, half the usual allocation, and is anxious about what will happen when this runs out. I don't know if this reduction of our treatment pills is happening only here in our village. Nurses don't say anything to us about what is happening with the pills. I fear we might eventually end up not receiving the drugs at all, meaning many of us might die. Sibanda, who lives in Chomuchairo village in the southern province of Masvingo, told Health Police Watch. In the capital, Harare, a similar crisis faces HIV or AIDS patients. Mavis Makumbe, 65, has depended on the free ARV treatment from the government for decades, but in late February, her whole life changed when she visited the New Start Center in the city to fetch her medication. I found a notice on the door saying it was closed and no longer in operation. From there, I went back home and started taking the remaining tablets, but those again were not enough, said Makumbe, a widow who has lived with HIV for 24 years. Fortunately, her daughter's friend rescued her by buying 6 months allocation for ARVs. The current going rate is for $20 for a month's supply, a fortune for the average Zimbabwean, with 80% of people working in the low-income informal sector and battling huge inflationary costs each month. This is unsustainable for Makumbe, who is also battling cancer on one of her legs. HIV-positive prisoners also told Health Police Watch that medicines are scarce. Not so long ago, we were being given rations of limited ARVs. Things are now worse after America has stopped giving us aid. Even painkiller pills are now hard to find in jail, said an HIV-positive prison inmate at Chikorod Maximum Prison in Harare. The ARV shortage was caused when US President Donald Trump suspended all foreign aid for 90 days with immediate effect on 20 January. The Trump administration has since disbanded the U.S. Agents for International Development (USAID) and extended the aid cut for a further 30 days until 20 May. We were put in a very tough situation by the aid cut by President Trump's government, said Stanley Takaona, president of the Zimbabwe HIV/AIDS Activists Union Community Trust. The aid cutoff was a bit harsh. We are praying that both our government and the US government will put on a humanitarian face and save our lives as people living with HIV, added Takaona, 62, who tested HIV positive at the age of 34 and started taking ARV treatment in 2001. The government's pre-exposure prophylaxis initiative targeted at people with high exposure to HIV like sex workers has also been suspended amid the Trump administration's global aid cuts. In 2022, an estimated 1.3 million Zimbabweans were living with HIV and 1.2 million were on ARVs, yet their medicine supply is now in jeopardy. Thank you for choosing Champions Network TV. If you are visiting this channel for the first time, Kindly subscribe so that you don't miss our future uploads.